Hello, it's Diva Brown from Simply Magazine. Today we're going to discuss an MBA. And my favorite person to do an MBA is Peter Drucker. In fact, Drucker's thoughts were more powerful for me and more effective than 2 years at Harvard Business School. I'm not saying the Harvard Business School training was not effective, but Drucker got me thinking and others thinking and will get you thinking. Simply has 6 Drucker audiobooks on audible.com and staples.com, as well as on our site, simplymagazine.com. The beauty of these titles relates to Harvard Business Press asking Mr. Drucker to do a synopsis of his books. So what you're seeing and listening to with me here and listening to these audiobooks will be Drucker's analysis of the core parts of each book. It's lecture length, and it's been proven traditionally that the lecture is the perfect length for a meeting, for learning, and far better, I think, than a full book. It's been said about business that all business books should be 10 pages. I think that's more or less correct. It's not a novel, which simply does novels and short stories. That's a whole different thing. But as far as the effectiveness of ideas in business, the best are lecture length. So, Simply has 6 of them. The most important one, I think, for you is, and I say that for you because it was for me, is managing oneself. It's almost like all armies. They start with the soldier. And as Patton said, and Caesar said, and everyone in between, including Napoleon and Ike, get yourself together, get your area together, and then maybe we can do something. That's very much a Drucker thought for business and for life. What he says in Managing Yourself is you must start with how you learn best. And there are 4 basic ways he refers to. And this is very interesting, I found. The first is, do you learn by talking? I'm talking now. Is this a way I learn? In fact, it is. Salespeople and trial lawyers, among others, learn by talking. Politicians learn by talking. The second group is those that learn by writing. And perhaps the 2 most famous are Winston Churchill and Thomas Jefferson, who both said they learned by writing. And then there are those that learn by listening. You listen to others, and that's how, through your ears, you take things in. Now, what's interesting about these different learning styles is I think audiobooks are perfect because they're quiet. You can listen to them peacefully. You don't have to watch anything, and you can repeat them easily. So that's why I like Drucker best in audio form. So we have Managing Oneself. The next one we have, which I think is very interesting, is the effective executive. What do you do as an executive? What are the important priorities? What don't you do? How do you limit yourself to focus on what's important? And just a simple example about what Drucker says, which is magnificent. It seems obvious once you hear it, but not beforehand, or at least not to me beforehand. It is this: don't work on your problems. Work on your opportunities. Yes, you have to deal with your problems, but fixing problems doesn't get you anywhere. You have to work on going forward. And this is a very American thought, and one reason the United States has done so well in business is we tend to be optimists who move forward, and Drucker supports that. In fact, he gives it the intellectual respectability of that approach. There are 4 other books that I think are very important for you to listen to. One is The Theory of Your Business. In short, if somebody was going to Twitter you in 140 characters, what would they say about your business? And think about it. If you were IBM, it's a very big company. Well, what's their Twitter 140 characters? They do your backroom systems so you can sleep at night. That's what they do. What does Starbucks do? Starbucks gives you a great start to your day. If you notice when you talk about what your mission is here, Drucker, in the theory of the business, is very clear on the fact it has to have an emotional content, because it's been said, you buy with emotion and you defend your decision with logic. Now, there are three others that are very helpful, I find. One is what executives should remember. This is a summary of 8 of his articles. I think it's very good because they're all short. It's 5 to 7 minutes each. It gives you a chance to, like a smorgasbord, try a little of this and try a little of that and see what you like. Now, the second to last is what only the CEO can do. And this is something that's often missing in organizations. The CEO tries to defer or delegate things that only he or she can do. And they've got to step up and do it. He's very good about that. And finally, the discipline of innovation, which was based on innovation and entrepreneurship. I think the best book in entrepreneurship. I wrote The Entrepreneur's Guide, and I must say, Drucker's was head and shoulders above mine. So this is the Peter Drucker MBA. It's creative, it's thoughtful, but incredibly practical.